Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you guys doing today? I'm sorry I'm so late today. I don't know. The day just got away from me, so I don't know. I don't know what happened, to be perfectly honest. I was just, the day got away. I had a late start. I was doing a small project and I didn't finish till about what time did I finish? I think it was like 9:30. Normally, I'm out taking a walk about 8 o'clock. Um, so I was a little late today, and it just kind of threw me off a little bit. But trying to stay true and do what I need to do. So this is your girl Janine with Symphony Reads. Please visit us on Facebook and you can see more of what we do and what we have available. So we're Symphony Reads on Facebook, and you can visit us there, comment, leave questions. As always, if you ever would like to leave a prayer request, ask for prayer, you can join our our prayer group, and it's literally just like-minded people that has come together to just pray for the concerns that people have. And so you can join that group. That is a closed or private group, um, but it's Symphony Reads Ministry Prayer Group. That's what it's called. So you can always look that up and request to join. And as soon as I see it, I'll be more than happy to accept you in. And it's just like I said, a place that we just come together and just pray for one another, whatever the concerns are. And it's I think people are starting to get where what we're supposed to be doing, and it's literally praying. So I'm just always blessed with that. So visit us on Facebook. We do have the prayer group. It's a closed group, but again, it's searchable in Facebook, so you can find it. You do have to say you want to join, and once I see the request, I will approve it. If you would like to call us and to give us a prayer concern, as always, call 240-681-97. Let me see, there I go. 240-681-9275. That's 240-681-9275. And always leave us an email, Symphony Reads with an S at gmail.com. Symphony Reads with an S at gmail.com. Okay. So let's get in today. I don't want to keep long. It's late. So I definitely don't want to keep long. So today is the 21st, and it's January 21st. And what is our positive thinking, our motivation, our courage, our inspiration for today? And this comes from Martin Luther King Jr., actually. So it's about the capacity to forgive. And the quote goes, "We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies." So, wow. When I read this, I, I'm I'm amazed because this is all new to me. Like I said, I've never read this book, and I have not read ahead. So pretty much when I'm reading it to you is at the most part pretty much when I read it. With this one I read earlier this morning. But when I read this, it talks about we need to have that within us. I think we understand in our minds how we receive forgiveness. And, you know, I think sometimes we have problems with forgiving. And not just forgiving, like for me, I find it that I could forgive you for whatever you've done to me and mean it. And, I move on. Um, that's not to say that I'm going to be your best friend and we're going to, have dinner together or anything like that. It's just, I can forgive you. The things that I'm understanding and I'm learning, really learning, is I have a problem with forgiving myself for any and every situation. And forgiveness it's not just asking others to forgive you. It's also being able to say, I forgive you. And in that forgiveness, it's not just forgiving the other person. It's also forgiving yourself. And it's a freeing thing. You know what I'm saying? It is a absolute freeing thing when you are able to forgive. I thought by me forgiving someone else, it makes them light. It makes them free. You get what I'm saying? And, like they can just move on and do what they do. But what I found is when I actually, I want to say like seriously forgave a person for the wrong that they did to me, not for me, Lord Jesus, to me. And I was very shocked on how freeing that was. It released something in me that I was trying to hold on to. And, I felt light and I felt free for the first time. Like I can actually move past and move on from that. Now, forgiving, it could be a hard thing, especially when you had something horrifically done to you. It's a hard thing. And I don't think it's something necessarily that we do right away. You know what I mean? I had a situation some years ago. And, man, I was so upset off of this situation that, they like, because what was said was one wrong, and it hurt and it affected me deeply. And it's like, I can't believe you turned on me and I don't know what I did to deserve that. And, I was upset, truly upset. And so I kind of just, like, whatever. I'm not even dealing with that. So the person, I want to say 2 days from that initial day that this all went down, comes to me and says, I'm sorry. I don't even know how or why or what happened, that it just went down the way that happened and all of this stuff. Can you forgive me? My words to that person was, you know what? I'm mad right now. So I'm mad. I wouldn't talk to me right now. This isn't a good time to talk to me because I'm furious with you. And, I need time to, stop and just get myself right. You know what I'm saying? And so I left it at that. So it wasn't like, yes, I forgive you. You know what I mean? And maybe I should have been that way, but that's not where my headspace was. And that's just me being honest. I was mad and I was angry. And, I didn't want to lash out because I was mad and angry. I didn't want to say anything out of mad, out of being angry. So I just said, it ain't gonna happen today. I'm sorry. It's just not. And, in that capacity, I'm angry right now and I need to figure some stuff out in my own head. And, I was reminded that, baby girl, you have done your share of stuff yourself, past, present, and maybe even in the future. You've done your share of stuff, bad stuff, or where you're lashing out probably at a person that didn't need you to lash out at. You've hurt people in the process, and you want someone to forgive you for your wrongdoings. So you need to check yourself and forgive other people. So I had to, just kind of clear my, everything and really go, you know what, that's the absolute truth. I've done some stuff in my life. I think we've all just done some stuff in our lives. And so, I was able to call the person up and, we had a conversation, and I said, I forgive you. And, so we were cool. We were cool. I mean, like I said, it wasn't about, let's go have Sunday dinner. It was just, we were cool. Like, I acknowledged what happened. I don't know why it went down like that. Stuff was said, people got hurt, like feelings got hurt. And it was a tough one for me at the time to want to move forward. But again, I think of what the word says, in the Bible, when it says, that if your brother or your sister is against you and you rebuke them, and if they repent, you forgive them. And, I had to think about that. It's as simple as that. And two, I always think I should always want to have that capacity to forgive, because I want my Father in heaven to forgive me for what I have done. And I don't, that's just where I stand with that. So we need to open ourselves to not just receive forgiveness for things that we've done, but to forgive other people and include yourself in that. What I've been going through, this last month and a half or month, whatever, 2 months, is like I said, I'm at a point where I'm trying to just forgive myself for the stupidity that I've done. It's just plain and simple as that. So I just encourage you to really, examine. And I mean, forgiveness can be a very hard thing. And I just want us to be open to that, because it is a freeing thing, not just for that person, but for yourself, And I just know for me too, just when I was still living under bondage, it was because I forgave everybody, but who I didn't forgive and who I still held accountable for everything, whether it was my fault or not, was myself. So, the kindness that we give, the mercy that we give, to other people, we need to give that to ourselves as well, in the forgiveness game. And I mean, we go through stages. I think we all do. But if you're truly repenting, you forgive yourself, because it's freeing. It's releasing you in a way that, it releases you in a way that it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. But it's a very freeing thing. That I know for sure. So again, that was the word for today, and I think it's appropriate that it came up, because in layers, I'm dealing with a lot of these things, and forgiveness is a great key, because I do have to forgive myself. I do have to forgive those that I feel like has wronged me. I do have to go to my sister or my brother and ask for forgiveness for some of the things that I've done. Some of the things I may have said that I didn't even realize was hurtful or whatever have you. So, just that's just what it is. We have to be open to the forgiveness and not just on asking people to forgive us, but we never want to forgive nobody else. And I think we have to have that capacity to forgive. We know how to receive a whole lot of things, but it is different when we have to dish it out. And, it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. And reason it's hard, especially when someone has done something against you. You know what I'm saying? That could be hard to want to forget a person, especially when what they've done was so hurtful. And it's like there was no care for your feelings. There was no care for, it was just hate and mean and nasty and wrong. And I mean, when I say that, I'm talking like when a person is raped, how do you forgive a person for doing something like that to you? And it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. And I can just tell you with that, when you get to that point, because I'm not saying you have to do it right then and right there. You know what I'm saying? Some people can, and that's okay. But sometimes we have to get to that point where we can do that. And I think that that's okay too, because the end point is just being able to forgive. I had a client, wow, that was probably some years, like probably 10, almost 15 years ago now. But I had a client. I'm a nail tech. One of my trades that I have is I am a nail tech. So working in a spa, I had a client, and we got to talking when I was doing her nails, and she was so angry. I do remember this, and she was angry because she was molested by a family member, and I remember her being just so angry, and you could just tell from, her body language to how she speak about things. And, she was just like, and I can't believe, and by right, and I remember asking her, I said, I hear what you're saying. I'm not telling you that, that you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? But you've been holding on to this pain, this hurt, and you're lashing out at people who don't deserve that pain and that hurt that you're giving out. And have you ever just, I don't know, thought to forgive that person? And she looked at me, and I looked back at her, and she was like, I don't think I ever thought of that. And I said, yeah. I said, I'm not even saying that you're there now, but you're holding on to something that it's an unfortunate event that has happened. And I get it. Trust me. 100% get it. And what happens if you just forgave the person? And I said, think about it. Do you think about it? And I remember after that conversation, I think a light bulb literally turned on for her in her brain. And I think It wasn't that day. I think I got a call from her, let's just say a week, because I can't remember. I know we talked again after that. And she was telling me, Janine, after we had that conversation, that's just been one of the things that I think about. And I did that. I took that step. I forgave this person for what they did to me. And, because I like what I was, and I was hoping that she was understanding what I was saying. None of us deserves forgiveness, but we are given forgiveness. Jesus died on the cross. He rose again to save us from our sins. I know like I know that we have done some stuff. But yet there's a way, a provision that was made so that we can be forgiven. And we've done some stuff, all of us. I'm not even going to say, I'm included. We've all done some stuff. And so she said, I get what you were saying, because when I forgave this person for what they did to me, she said it was like a weight was lifted off of her shoulders. And this is something she kept with her for years. And she just wanted to say thank you. And I said, I understand being in, a place where the anger and everything is just like it is part of you, and you can't. And to live like that it's just not a way to live. You know what I mean? It took her 30 years, I think, give or take. She was older than me. 30 years, I think, for her to get to that place of forgiveness. But I was thankful because it was a place that she was, where she was open and willing. Because, when you forgive someone, I find it as a faith walk, a faith journey with God. Because I remember when I had to forgive someone who, and I'm talking when I was young, did something to me. And it was just, I carried that thing all the way to college. And I remember sitting in my room, and I remember having a conversation with God. And I was through the roof. I was upset. I was angry. I was lashing out at people. I was doing a whole bunch of different things. And, the Lord said to me, do you trust me? And I remember saying, yes, I trust you. I trust you with all I have. You've always, showed up, been there. I've never, yes, I trust you with my very life. Forgive that person. And it was like, what? You want me to do what? And, I felt like if I forgave them, but I've been holding this anger for so long. And I think that's what he was trying to get me to see. You're holding on to something I never wanted you to hold on to. What happened was a very unfortunate experience. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I was the one dying inside. It happened to me, but I was the one dying inside. You know what I'm saying? I was the one, decaying, if you will, inside. And so forgiveness is a big thing, and it took me a long time. And sometimes I didn't even realize that was the missing piece at that time. So just take heart to have that capacity to forgive. You want to forgive others as you would want to be forgiven. And we've all done stuff, whatever that stuff is. I'm not even going in there. I'm not, we've all done stuff. So just think about it. Let's just put it that way. Let's think about it. Let's open ourselves to forgiving. And then part of that forgiving is forgive yourself too. If you're holding on to that and if you're punishing yourself for whatever, don't forget to forgive yourself. Don't forget to do it. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Sleep well. I will see you guys tomorrow. This is Symphony Reads Ministry, SRM. I'm Janine, and I'm out. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Peace and blessings to you all.